Hey, what's up, guys? It's Rick with the Digital Divide, and today I want to talk about Golden Record reprints. These are really interesting because they're some of the oldest reprints that Marvel ever produced, and they hold a lot of value. So you're probably wondering, what are Golden Record reprints? Well, these are actual records, and there were only 4 of them made. Those included Journey into Mystery number 83, which is the first appearance of Thor, Amazing Spiderman number 1, which is Spider-Man's first issue in his first solo run. And then there's Avengers number 4. I'm not aware of any key significance on this one. And then the last one was Fantastic Four number 1, which is the first appearance of the Fantastic Four. Now, all of these released in 1966 and sold for $2.49 a pop. And that included the record and a comic book, which was an official reprint of the original comics published by Marvel. Now, if you get on eBay, you can see that these are no longer going for $2.50. They are quite expensive, especially in high grades. Even low-grade copies can go for a few $100, where high-grade copies can get into the thousands. And so these are very collectible and sought after. But you might be thinking to yourself, why are these going for so much money? Why are people paying so much for reprints? Because traditionally reprints don't have anywhere near as much value as the original. And these don't reach those heights, but they are as close as you can get to owning the original. These were made only a few years after the originals were printed, and many of these were printed on the very same print presses, so there's almost no difference between them. So a lot of collectors don't want to spend tens of thousands of dollars on a first print, or they can't. They simply do not have the capacity to do that. So these reprints are really the next best thing for collectors, where a first print would be beyond their reach financially. Here's a cool story from AFA Comics about how he accidentally ended up picking all 4 of these.
In 1982, I graduated college. I was a December graduate, and I started working my first job, which was not an acting job, which I was hoping to get, but it was a job at a convenience store in Bayville, New Jersey, full-time. And I became an assistant manager in a few months, didn't want it. But anyway, in the meantime, I was actually living with my dad at the Jersey Shore, and there was a comic store, which was a little further to the north, that I would frequent. And this guy had a series of the 1966 Golden Record reprints. So these were records with the story of how these comic books characters came to be. And of course, with the records came the comics themselves, which I loved, but I never really thought I would have any use for. But so my cat's on the table. These books, I had not yet acquired the real version, the Silver Age version of these. And I thought, the guy wanted $8 per record book set. And so I went ahead and bought them all. He gave me a discount. I think I got them for around, $28 for the whole batch. They're nice. They're fun to have. When I acquired the real things a few years later, I put these aside, but then these kind of fell into their own.
Okay, so if these reprints are almost identical to the original, then how do you tell the difference between the real thing and a Golden Record reprint? If you're on eBay and you're trying to pick up a raw copy of one of these books, how do you know that you're not getting scammed? Well, there are a couple of telltale signs. Let's take a look at Fantastic Four number 1. Can you spot the difference between the two? If you look on the upper right-hand side of the screen, you'll see that the real copy has the price on it of 10 cents, and it also has a date of November 1st. This is the first thing you'll be able to tell the difference on when it comes to Golden Age reprints, because those do not have a price on the cover. If we flip over to the back, you'll notice that the Golden Age reprints also tend to have advertisements for other Golden Age reprints and record sets on the left. The one on the right is real, and that one Marvel would typically put just various ads of how to draw or bodybuilding. So you'll see on the back cover as well as the inside a lot of Golden Record ads, and that's how you can tell the difference there. Now, if you're wondering what one of these records sounds like, it's kind of odd. I mean, it's kind of like a read-along book in some ways, but there are 2 stories on each record. Take a listen here.
The Amazing Spiderman.
The Fantastic Four think I'm trapped, but they don't suspect my real power.
2 great feature-length Spider-Man thrillers. Extra added attraction. Spider-Man meets the Fantastic Four as the chameleon strikes. Turn the page and begin this classic on page 1.
So my overall thoughts on these is that they're really cool and neat collectibles for comic book collectors. I'd love to own some. I'm not willing to pay thousands of dollars for them, but if I can find a good deal, maybe I'll pick up a couple of these down the road. But as always, thank you for watching, and let me know what your thoughts on the Golden Record reprints are below.